We don't put this information out just to sound smart. We put it out because the goal is bigger than a score. The goal is six figures or more. The goal is $20,000 a month minimum. The goal is freedom, financial and physical. And the only reason I'm able to talk about this the way I do is because I used to be on the other side of the screen, searching, trying to figure out why nothing I did ever seemed to stick, why approvals felt random, why some people moved effortlessly while others stayed stuck. Once I learned how credit actually works, not just the surface level stuff, my life changed. And once that happened, I made a promise to myself that I'd never gatekeep the information that could change someone else's situation. That's why the network exists. And that's why we've been doing this for almost 5 years now. A lot of people think building a CPN is just about getting a number and adding a trade line. That's the fastest way to end up with a ghost file. A real CPN is an identity build. It's consistency. It's data alignment. It's making sure every system that looks at you sees the same story. That starts with the basics: name, date of birth, address, phone, and email all matching across the board. Not close, not similar, exact. Consistency is what tells automated systems you're real. Then there's tri-merging. If a file isn't showing across Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, it's not truly alive. Tri-merging isn't about approvals. It's about existence. It's how a file gets recognized across the credit ecosystem instead of sitting invisible. Once a file exists, public records are what give it weight. Public records are how your identity shows up outside of just the credit bureaus. They're what lenders, banks, and data vendors cross-check when they're deciding whether to trust a profile. Directories, pre-screened databases, consumer data systems, employment and insurance records, these are the places that quietly confirm whether someone is real or not. That's why a file with public records behaves completely different from one without them. You don't need every site on the internet, you need the right ones. Systems like Opt-out Prescreen, List Yourself, LexisNexis, Innovis, and similar consumer data aggregators are examples of how identity data spreads and gets verified across platforms. When those systems recognize you, things start sticking. Monitoring platforms populate correctly, trade lines post more reliably, applications stop getting flagged for being thin or inconsistent. After that comes structure. Primary trade lines matter because they show responsibility. Authorized user trade lines matter because they add age and strength. But one without the other is unbalanced. A real profile has both: primaries for roots, AUS for seasoning, and none of this works if you're not monitoring the file. If you're not watching what's posting, what's missing, and what's syncing, you're moving blind. Now, this is why we stress timelines too. Files don't become solid overnight. Public records take days to populate. Trade lines take time to report. This is a process, not a hack. And here's the part people overlook. This knowledge isn't just for you. The reason I put this out publicly is because I want network members to win and then help someone else win too. That's how this grows. That's how real communities are built. If you learn this and keep it to yourself, you're missing the point. If you learn this and help change someone else's situation, that's real power. I'm not going to list every public record site, every method, or every step here. The full updated public records guide and deeper breakdowns live inside the Patreon, and the link will be in the description or bio depending on where you're watching this. If you're serious about changing your income, your access, and your future, this is the level you have to start thinking on. Not shortcuts, not gimmicks, systems. And once you understand the system, you stop chasing approvals and start controlling outcomes.